Welcome to the Real Table Talk. I'm Dr. Alicia.
I'm Tiana Von Johnson.
And when it matters in love, life, and relationships,
we're talking about it.
Okay, so today we're going to be talking about financial infidelity, all things love and money. Let's unpack this.
Oh, let's unpack.
Okay, we have been talking a little bit about picking a partner, someone that you can fall in love with. He's the love of your life, but he broke.
Ooh.
What happened?
Well, hold on. How did he become the love of your life if he's broke? Did he become broke, or was he broke when you met him?
He looks good. He got on a good outfit. You see him. Y'all vibing together. You're connecting with each other. And then you find out he's broke. He ain't got no money.
Okay, so what? Okay, before we even unpack it, is the fact that he has money a societal thing? Like, as a woman, you're going into this, the man must be able to provide. Is this the foundation we're going on in 2025, 26, 27?
I think that's an interesting question, because we have to figure out, what type of person do you want to be in a relationship with? Are you going to be in a relationship with somebody who doesn't have any money but has potential to have some money? They got potential. They trying to get their job. They're trying to get their business up, but they just don't have it now. He has everything you could ever want in a partner, except for the financial piece. Is it love over money or money over love?
But there are also women who are fine with being the breadwinner.
Yes.
So who are we talking about here? Because we can go in a number of, are we talking about Summer Walker? Or are we talking about a traditional woman with traditional values?
Okay, this is what I think when I see couples. Okay, I really do think that a man is not
unless he has money.
A man is not an ATM machine.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. His job is not just somebody where you can just go to and be able to cash and pull out money to do whatever you want. So a man wants to be loved for more than that.
Okay.
So people talk about protecting and providing. Providing doesn't just have to be financial. Yeah. You have to be doing something. I think in a good relationship, you need to be getting up and going to work. Everybody works. Everybody has to be doing something. I think the real question is this person living their true, authentic life? Mm. Like, what would it be if he's just like, you know what? Being a garbage man has always been my dream. I've always wanted to be a garbage man.
I don't know if anybody says that, but go ahead. But
they could.
Shout out to all the garbage men out there.
Cleaning up trash. And if this person doesn't make enough money, now their garbage men make a good money and they have a really good pension, by the way. Mm-hmm. But is that the type of lifestyle that you would want to live? That's the question.
Well, some people look at that as stable, steady income. Mm-hmm. And maybe if you're not a woman who's generated millions, someone that is bringing home $70,000, $80,000 per year is okay for your lifestyle and your family. Mm-hmm. So that's why I feel like we really have to identify who we are talking to. Because if we're talking to a Dr. Alicia or Tiana Von Johnson, what are we talking about?
Yeah, okay. So that's one thing to think about. Another thing is that suppose you get into a relationship with someone who makes a lot of money, but he's bad with money. Mm. He makes a lot of money, and then next thing you know, he's on there gambling the money away, or he's spending money, overspending, and he's not saving enough. Would you be in a relationship with someone like that?
See, I'm not good with, I've been dealing with Negroes who ain't had nothing. So
who had nothing, but he's got a lot of money coming in.
No,
he's just frivolous with it.
All right, let me not do that. I had someone for a couple dollars. But no, like that is true. Like financial infidelity, over cheating. Like what hurts you more as a woman? I mean, for me, don't cheat on me. Like I would take the financial infidelity over cheating any day.
Now, the data doesn't show this.
That is so interesting.
Most women. That is
so interesting.
Let me tell you why. Because a lot of women say, okay, he can cheat on me, and that only affects me. They do think this way. He can cheat on me and that only affects me. But you know what? Christmas is around the corner. And if he's spending his money elsewhere, that means Johnny don't get Christmas. And now it's starting to affect my children. And if it's one thing if
it's a very unselfish way to look at it.
It's one thing if you betray me. But if you betray the children, the moment a man, and I'm just saying a man, the moment a man betrays something important for the children in terms of finances, Johnny can't have his Christmas. Susan is wondering why the lights are cut out. I think at that point, it is much more difficult for people to get over financial infidelity than it is on actual sexual infidelity. I am very
shocked that the data says that.
Yes.
I am very shocked.
It does say that.
So because the pain, the damning effects of being cheated on, mentally, emotionally, psychologically, I mean, all these ways, versus your man just having a gambling problem?
Well, it's the way it impacts. So if a man cheats on you, then that means it's a wound that you and him have to work out. But if he messes up the money, the whole household suffers. And it's almost like the straw. No, I can't deal with this.
That sounds like white people problems. Don't cheat on me. Sorry, go ahead. This is
that's fascinating. That's a really interesting, because you're bringing in race. But I will tell you that there are a lot of black women that have said, I said, how often has he cheated on you? Girl, he done cheated on me the whole marriage. Ooh. They have said that. I've had women say that. And they get to the point where they say enough is enough eventually. How do I leave? How do I get out of this relationship because this man is cheating on me sexually? But sometimes they stay in the relationship because he's taking care of all the bills. He's taking care of all the bills. As long as he take care of all the bills, I can just kind of cut myself off emotionally and look at the big picture.
Well, that's different. That's going into a different realm. And I think a person that would stay with all the things, but not the man's heart, soul, and core.
It's a painful reality either way, but I think it's a little bit more, I think it's easier for a lot of women who have come to the conclusion, there's nothing I can do in this relationship. This man is not gonna, he doesn't have fidelity in this relationship, and I need to come to terms with that and try to figure out an exit plan. It's easier for them to stay in that sort of situation than it is when all the money is messed up.
What do you think the emotional cost of struggling together is?
You know, I kind of think it's kind of romantic.
Oh, Lord. Let me go hide.
Like, there's nothing. Okay, I remember like dating when I was in college, and we didn't have any money. We was trying to make it. We ain't in college.
Let's talk about today.
No, today is no. But but you know what? I've told my husband many times, I said, look, you can go bottoms up. It's okay, you got me. Like, I have said that to him. I said, you know what? If you decide one day you want to just release yourself from the black business school and just be done with it, I got your back.
But isn't that the case of Tabitha Brown? I don't know if you're familiar with her story.
She retired her husband. I think that is beautiful. And she got a lot of flack for that.
She did.
But I think that's great. I would love to be in a position where I could just say, you know what, boys? You don't have to work. You don't have to be on your phone all the time unless you really want to, and just get online and talk online and have fun, which he does that anyway. Yeah. But yeah, I would love to be able to say that to him.
Let's look at red flags masked as building, like we're building together, especially in the beginning.
Oh my God. Okay, so yeah, I mean, I'm talking about the beginning. Let's just say I was in college and me and my partner, we ain't had no money. We're in college and we're trying to get Sunday dinner. We're pulling together, scraping together. Let's pull all our money together in one pile and let's get dinner with that. I think there's something romantic about that.
It's a red flag when you just meet somebody and he's asking you for money. Period.
Yeah, I mean, have you heard of the Danish deception?
No.
Oh, you got to go on TikTok. Get on TikTok and look up Danish deception. I did a video on it.
Break that down. Break that down for the people in the back.
This black lady, she goes to Denmark. Her and her friends go to Denmark, and she meets this guy who is an Olympian. He is a millionaire. He's presenting himself, and he's royalty. Okay, and so they go on these trips. these elaborate trips, and he's dropping all these names. I don't know how he was able to afford this trip, but he love bombs her, and he like inundates her with a lot of time, a lot of attention, a lot of love in the bedroom, and all that stuff. A black woman, and she falls for him really quickly, and they get married. And she thinks that she's married to like this wonderful royal guy. She thinks she's some African queen at this point. And then he says, you know what? My banking account got frozen up. It's frozen. I need to borrow some money really quick to pay off this stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And he takes her and her friends' money. And he was scamming them the entire time. And she met his family. I don't know if his family was in on it necessarily, but she meets him and he scams her out of her money. She had to get the marriage annulled or whatever.
So there are a lot of people doing that, and not even on that high level. I'm talking about everyday men, black men that are broken, that are broke. They are meeting women like me or other powerful women, and they are subtly getting you to, they're love bombing you in a way that gets you to say, well, he doesn't have it, so I'm going to help him out. And helping out turns into something that you definitely didn't plan for. It turns into more and more and more giving, and most times they've done a lot of women like that.
Yes. I mean, it is what he does. It's strategy. It's his strategy.
It is strategy.
The love bombing, the showering that person with a whole lot of attention. Here's this black woman. And I'm thinking, black women, we can't take a break. It's like, we can't get a break at all. It's hard for us to find somebody here. We just talked about that. And then you go to Europe and you're thinking, okay, Europe. Okay, maybe I can get me a nice man in Europe who loves chocolate women. She is chocolate, which is, she's beautiful, chocolate woman. You know, and he's treating her like a queen and he's treating her better. I guess she's probably on Instagram posting pictures. She does. She posts pictures of him and everything. Like, I finally fell in love and he was just using her. And took all her little money. So he broke her spirit. He broke her checking account. He broke her trust, and here she is trying to love the things that black women go through. So I don't know. I just feel like, where do we balance this?
Yeah.
You know, it's like, you want to be there for your partner if you're in a committed relationship. You don't want to feel like you are basing the relationship on money, because that's shallow. You know, men want to be with a woman who like feel like they got their back no matter what,
for sure.
thick or thin. But at the same time, I think that you need to verify things. So suppose you're in a relationship with somebody and they are on financial hard times. You need to verify. You need to be able to say, show me before I help you financially. Show me receipts. Let me go in. You have to verify and make sure everything kind of adds up. Okay, tell me how we're going to pay this back. You know, and be in this together with them. That's
so interesting. And when you even, I know, you know, Candy Burris and Todd Tucker's in the headlines. So what are your thoughts when it comes to like the whole post-nup, prenup? Like, do you have a prenup?
I do have a prenup. I do have a prenup only because I have children. Boyce has his business. I think it makes sense to have a prenup. My first marriage, I did not have a prenup. What am I getting a prenup for? We were fresh out of college. You know, I met him when, he had just graduated from college like a year. I was graduating from college. We didn't have anything really. And we didn't have children. We didn't have assets. We didn't have a house. We didn't have a whole life. Right. So it didn't make sense to have a prenup. It wouldn't have made sense anyway to have a prenup. But I think that when you're older and you have established a lot of things and you potentially have a lot to lose if the marriage doesn't work out, I think it makes sense to have a prenup. So it all depends. And that's a strategy that you might use if you have more money than the person that you're getting married to. Usually the person with the most money is the person going to the other person saying, we need to have this prenup. And I don't think there's anything wrong with asking that. And I think that you can just say, I'm not with you for your money. Sure, I'll sign a prenup and it's fine with me.
That's good. That's good. What about like money and respect? What did it say? Money, power, respect? But like money and respect, do you think that the lack of money a man from a man definitely causes respect issues about a woman. Do you get that in your office?
What?
A man feeling like he's not being respected because he doesn't earn or he doesn't have as much as the woman.
I don't get that so much in my office, more so than I'm getting, well, sort of. What I get is if there's a financial imbalance where one partner makes more than the other, I do get that because the person makes more money, they feel like they have more say in how the money is spent. And I have to just say, hold on a second. Just because you bring in more money doesn't mean that your voice is more important than your partner's voice. I mean, that's a little disrespectful because legally, if they're married to each other, legally, it don't matter who bring in what. It's community property. So I tell boys all the time, like, this our money. How much money we make today?
Yeah.
And he says it to me, how much money we make. We always like make fun of each other because we always have these types of conversations. But yeah, it doesn't matter. You get equal vote no matter who brings in more money or not.
I like that. All right. So what are some takeaways? So let's talk about women who are in these situations or men.
Yeah.
And what should they do?
You know, I really advocate for couples to have explicit conversations about money early on. Explicit. Once you know that you want to get into a committed relationship with another person, I think you need to let's set aside time, let's have some wine maybe, and let's sit down and let's open up our checking accounts and let's have this conversation. Also have a conversation about debt. Because a lot of people feel ashamed.
Yes, true.
About how much debt they've accumulated. I mean, we're around a bunch of entrepreneurs. It's the shame that's attached to that. So a lot of people feel embarrassed by how much money, by bad financial decisions that they made in the past, and they're scared to share it. And I think that's a testament to like having those intimate conversations with each other, where you just say, okay, let's do it. We're gonna put it out on the table, and we're not gonna make fun of each other. It's a good bonding. Let me tell you, when I have couples do that, open up your checking accounts, let's share all this information. They walk away from that on the other side of that feeling really connected to each other.
How soon is too soon?
I think at the
to share that. That's very deep and intimate. It is
deep and intimate. I think from the beginning, you're always telling each other about how much money you make, the conversations you have. Think about it this way. You're in a relationship with somebody and you ask them, hey, where do you vacation? I mean, the answer to that question can tell you how much money they make. If they say, we go to the south of France every year and I'm on the boat, the big boat, boat is code for yacht. If I'm on the boat every day, that tells you about where they are financially. So you're always having financial conversations.
You're getting little pieces.
What restaurant do you want to go to? Oh, Smith & Wollensky. I go to Smith & Wollensky every week. Those type of conversations can let you know about their lifestyle, how much money they have. So you can't not have a conversation about money in relationships, but at some point, especially when it starts to get really serious, I think you need to have a conversation. Another takeaway, one last takeaway is money personality. I had to write that down. You need to know the person's money personality. We have savers. I'm a saver. I do not like to spend money. You have savers who feel real comfortable when they have a lot of money. I believe in living beneath my means. Let me tell you, Boyce does not. He is an investor. He likes to spend. And if it was up to him, he'd be living in millions of dollars a home and all this. And I'm like, no. Let's live beneath our means so that I can sleep at night and feel good about it. I like to live well beneath my means so that if I want to go to the south of France, I can.
You can.
If I want to rent a boat, let's get us a boat. And let's go to Bahamas. That's one thing we about to do.
That part.
And, I could do it because we live beneath our means. So I like to feel comfortable. And that makes me feel safe.
Well, let me give a couple takeaways before you tell us about the sponsor for this episode. So for me, I definitely think it goes back to something we talked about in other episodes about our non-negotiables. And really just establishing what the financial part of the relationship really means to us. Because to your point, some people, they are fine with being the breadwinner. They are fine with that. And I think going back to the candy thing, I think she wanted love and commitment and togetherness, and she wanted children or more children. And I think he provided that. He also provided the look, the image. You know, he was in the entertainment business to a degree. She wanted someone that kind of matched her flair and her swag. But boy, oh boy, that imbalance. And again, I don't claim to know much about what is going on, although I did date Todd Tucker.
You dated Todd?
I'm just kidding. I went to lunch with Todd Tucker many years ago.
Was he flirting with you?
Well, I don't think so.
You're cute though.
Thank you, but no. He and I, we were doing some work. This is when he was, I think, the production manager at BET. And we were doing some work. We met up for lunch. And he was really like a go-getter, like always trying to make something happen for himself, always pushing. So I think there was great potential there. And I think, from what I understand, she met him during her filming. So he was doing production then. And then, but when you look at that, like, you are a mega star, millions of dollars, you are the Candy Burrs, and you've met the person essentially holding the camera or producing the segments.
So
super imbalanced.
He wasn't making as much money as she was. Because she was definitely way more famous.
No, super imbalanced. And then what? And then again, I'm sure it'll be revealed, they're public figures. But like, if he cheated and it's like, that's so deep, that's devastating from a standpoint of, like, going back to what we're discussing. Like, I was with someone who didn't, and I'm not blaming it on that. I don't claim to know. No, this is not a show where we're, diving into the celebrities like that. But it's a huge imbalance, and it's very scary.
Let me tell you, the number one reason, I'm talking about the number one reasons here. The number one situation that could cause a man to cheat is if his partner makes more money than him. Because in our society, manhood is so connected with how much money you bring into the home that if you bring in less money than your partner, then therefore you feel less of a man. And to exert your manhood, you do it with your privates. As a way of feeling like you're worthy. And of course, that's the case with men who have self-esteem issues. So sorry, ladies. You really need to get a man that makes as much money as you. Right. Or, chances are that he'll likely cheat. He'll likely cheat on you anyway.
That is statistics. Y'all heard it first. So what we got here?
Okay, so today, now he's looking at the cameraman's like, what? Today's show about love and money is brought to you by the Black Business School. And get your free copy of Financial Lovemaking by going to voiceandalicia.com.
Let's take a moment to hear from our co-host, Shar Curry. Let's talk about it, Shar.
Y'all know what? I've been talking about this for years, so I'm glad that we hit on this today. And let me just say this. When it comes to love and money, a lot of times what happens nowadays is women will date a man for their pockets, their wallets, and they think that the men are supposed to provide everything while they provide nothing. But on the flip side of that, what happens is the women that actually earn more, or they have a different type of career, they make more money than the man, what happens is they try to pit themselves over men. And that, I feel, is where the imbalance comes in at when it comes to this. Because what happens is women that make more money than men, 9 times out of 10, if they make more money than their spouse, what are they doing? They're disrespectful. They're pitting themselves over him. They're coming in with their ego. They're coming in with their pride. They're coming in with all these different avenues of how to chop him down or how to disrespect him. When in reality, you guys are actually a team. It doesn't matter who makes more money than who if you guys are supposed to be a team. But when you have this single mindset, or this mindset of being an independent woman, or being career-driven and successful. A lot of times what happens is women that say they're successful in life, they base that upon their bank account. But then on the flip side of that, in love, they are bankrupt. A lot of women that make more money than their spouses, they are bankrupt because of how they treat their spouses. And this, ladies, you gotta understand this. Y'all know I advocate for men, right? But I advocate for great men. And a lot of men are on the side of these women making more money than them, and they feel like they don't have a say so, or they have to keep the peace in the home, or they have to appease the woman because she pays a good portion of the rent and the bills or the mortgage. So this is my thing, right? Ladies, gentlemen, whoever you are out there, do not date somebody based on the fact that they drive a certain car, that they dress a certain way, or that they have a certain career, or that they make a certain amount. Date the person or be with the person for who they really are. A lot of y'all are so chasing after the bag, and you're so chasing after the bank, and you're so chasing after the money that you don't even get to know the person and who they are. A lot of y'all are dating bank accounts. A lot of y'all are dating pockets. A lot of y'all are dating status. And it's sickening out there, because this is the reason why a lot of people think that the dating pool is shitted in nowadays. Is because of the financial aspect that is always brought in. It's always about their career. It's about their status. It's about their clout. When in reality, you guys are supposed to be looking to come into things and be a team. You can't say that you want somebody to build with when in reality, you think that you're the only one that can put a block up because of your financial status, because of how much you have in the bank. It doesn't work that way. And let me also say this. It does not have anything to do with cultural background or race. This is people across the board. I have clients all across the world, and I hear it every single day. So don't sit up there and tell me that it's based on my career, or the fact that I want to be independent, or the fact that I'm black or white. No, it's about the mentality and the perspective of the person. If you go along with the ways of society and you follow along with that, you float along with that, then you're going to see your partner differently than if you would have thought for yourself.
And
I love it.
I am Dr. Alicia, and this is the Real Table Talk with
Tiana Von Johnson.
And if it matters in love, life, and relationships,
We're talking about it.
cheers, guys. Cheers.